Meetings and notes for today's meeting. She will be replaced with Sarah, who normally does the minutes temporarily, as long as we seek out a replacement for her. Everyone should have a copy of the agenda. I would like to recognize some individuals that are in the audience with us today. The Department of Education Commissioner, Robbie Fletcher. He is our new commissioner. We're so grateful that he's able to come here today. I want to give him a warm welcome. We're very excited that you're able to participate this evening with us. Also, Shannon Sparkman, Assistant Director of State Schools, Emma Riley. They are both in attendance today. And then Ms. Sparkman, excuse me, I'm pointing to nothing. I apologize. That's right. And then Greta Hilton is also here. I have not forgotten you. Sometimes, for whatever reason, I see all these hidden figures in the audience, and then I want to make sure I'm recognizing all of them. Walter T. Hewlett is here this evening as well, right over there. He was usually over there. Everyone is switching their spots on me this evening. I'm going to go ahead and do a roll call, if you don't mind, Robin, and leading that.
Sure. I'm Haley Brock, Robin Bush, Anita Groenwald, Scott Hahn, Jeff Kasinger, Kayla Parton, Aaron Roden, Kathy White, Bethany Yance. And we do have a quorum.
Great, wonderful. Now, if we can review the meeting minutes from the 19th of May and approve those, we have the selected minutes listed. I have already gone through. If you can take a look at that, there were some minor corrections. And then if you can go ahead and take a look, see if there's anything that needs to be tweaked and passed on to Ms. Bush. Scott Hahn is saying, I would like to propose the minutes that are corrected. Haley is seconding that. All in favor? Do it again, make sure I got all of you. Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's approved. Next on our agenda is Mr. Hewlett. He has a report to share with us this evening.
Good evening. I think my voice will do well without microphone. Dr. Fletcher, welcome. It's good to meet you, or at least see you. We'll meet at some point.
I think you'll want you to.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
I'll figure that out. Yeah.
You ready? All right. Okay, I'll try to tone my voice down so that I don't get too far. Wow, it's been an interesting last month or so since we met, and Shannon is on my Friday morning meetings, and she can attest to the volume of work that has been going on behalf of both KSD and KSB. But tonight, our focus will be on KSD. A couple things. I'll just start across the road and come this way. The security railing project that we've been doing in Jacobs Hall is about 95% complete. We are currently anchoring all the railing. We had it temporary in, and that's all being finalized, and plaster work's being done. We'll get ready to paint, and so that we can get that part of the work done and get the museum back open so that you can have tours and have visitors and have access to the building. On Tuesday, yesterday, We met with the design team. We're getting ready to do the window project, Mr. Hahn, that is so desperately needed. We toured upstairs. We've got some old drawings, so we know what windows have been replaced, what needs to be replaced. We will work with the Historical Society to make sure that we do this in the right way, but we want to use current energy efficient triple pane windowing, but we want to continue to keep the look and the aesthetic value of Jacobs Hall. So that project is moving right now. The next project, when we get that finished, will be to do some HVAC work. Again, that building works off of 2 residential units, 3-ton units, 1 per floor, but the top 2 floors have no type of conditioning at all. And so we're going to look at how we can better address the HVAC flow in that building, because we're deeply concerned about some of the historical documents, furnitures, and other things that just keep getting exposed to high temperatures, cold weathers, and those type of things. So those are 3, 1 project about done, 2 projects that are coming on in the near future to address Jacobs Hall. Then if we step over to Thomas Gym, that we had it air conditioned for graduation and all that, and we've been able to use the gym and the lobby. We're finishing up. We're into what I call the nuts and bolts. There's so many little tedious things that are having to be addressed. In a building that was not designed for HVAC, we're having to fabricate and do new heating coils and a lot of different things. And so the work is very slow and tedious, but we're getting there. We're on track to get finished, as we should, but there's just been so much that we could not anticipate because, the ceilings that were there, we had to open up ceilings, open up walls, and that type of thing. We'll go ahead and tell you a concern that was raised today. We do have a little bit of cracking in the wall, so we're going to go back and look at the pre-construction photographs that we documented the building before we ever started, and then we'll compare it to what we see now. I've already sent an email out to my counterpart at DECA, Tony Yates, to reach out to the structural engineer so that we can get them on site and just look at it and see what type of remedy we're going to have to do. For those of you who are familiar with KSD's campus, we're sitting on an asphalt, fault line, and we have a rock quarry over here that constantly blasts. So the earth is constantly moving, and we don't know if it's been a slight shift or what it is, but we will find out what the problem is and get a resolution to it as soon as we can. We've done some other little things inside the gym. All the safety lighting that was put in place, as we put cages over it to protect it and to make sure that there's not any damage and the fire alarms and that type of thing. I want to jump right now. I'll go back over to Argo for just a minute. I think one of the last times that I was able to present to you, we were hoping for a summer construction schedule. And I know that we met with Ms. Locke. We cleared the building out and all these things. And then the question is, what happened? Well, dollars happened. We added quite a bit of work, scope of work to the building that was not in the original design. Things like concreting the greenhouse, adding some things in the industrial arts building, going into the old art room and adding some HVAC and some wiring and different things. At the end of the day, we increased the cost of the project significantly above what we had. So what took place is I had to wait until July 1 funds became available, and now we've added the additional funding. The contract has been released. The successful bidder can now do their bond work, and hopefully we'll get started really quick. I've talked with Dr. Petrie. I don't know exactly how that will interfere with instruction. I know that he's had some mobile plans and that type of thing. Well, we'll do the best we can to get in and get out, but it is what it is because the dollars weren't there. We didn't want another phase. While we were there, we wanted to finish it. This is the 5th phase in that building, so we wanted it to be the 5th and the final phase. Moving over to Grow Hall, yes, we know we're putting in blinds, motorized blinds, new window coverings, and those type things. That stalled just a little. We constantly run into costs that are rising, and so working with the department, we had to add a little bit of additional money. And so we've done that, and that project should take off, and we can get the windows in. The biggest part of that work is just the electrical work. So we can get it in. I think it'll have very minimal interruptions to anything we do. And once we get that in, then it's just a matter of hanging the blinds. If we drop down to Middleton Hall, as we know, that building is going to be renovated. Currently, the projected, and I've talked to Dr. Petrie and Jared, we've got an on-site in-person meeting at the end of September to really finalize, to make sure the design is what the campus wanted. We've had a lot of meetings and a lot of input, and we're really close, but we just want to go back and double check ourselves and make sure that we haven't missed anything. For those of you who are keeping score, that's $8 million that project is what we have on hand. $6 million to do the renovation, and the other $2 to $2.5 million is the HVAC portion of that, electrical and some other things. But the total cost is $8 million. We're just hopeful that it doesn't come in more than that. We're good at 8. We just hope that it doesn't come in any more than that, and we have to scale the scope of that project back down. I think that is the quick version. Let me get into the weeds just a little, and I won't get deep, I promise you. But I think it's important to know what the legislature and the department has committed to our campus, because many times we don't see, it's not all above ground paint, windows, buildings, concrete. Then we don't know that things happen. On top of that $8 million and the projects that I've just updated you, that running cost is a little over $9 million that the department has committed to this campus in various funding sources, through some of the COVID monies, some of it through capital monies, and so the biggest project that's in front of us that we're meeting on deals with this building and Brady Hall, and it is a mechanical electrical project. And again, I won't get into all the details. We'll be touching the electrical. We will be touching the architectural. We'll be touching all the systems in these buildings that have not already been touched, so that we have current, efficient equipment that will take us 20, 30 years down the road. For those of you who have been a part of KSD for many years, and I've been here 12, we know that many years we didn't have any money. Funding was virtually zero. We split $650,000 with KSB to do everything that, like the project we're talking about, we had $600,000, and I've just talked about $8 million. So that gives you some idea of the work that has gone on your behalf by the department and through the legislature. This MEP project that I'm discussing for Brady and for Kerr Hall will be in excess of $12 million more dollars. So the department and the legislature and the federal government has invested over $20 million in the next year, year and a half into this campus, so that we have everything that we do where our students learn, where they live, the facilities that they're in, air conditioning, the heating, everything works as it should. And I can't tell you, again, Shannon's on our team that meets every Friday morning with the state budget director, with Karen Worth out of the department, Scott Craig, finance cabinet, Commissioner Ruth, Scott Baker, Dr. Petrie occasionally. You know, I can't tell you how strong the team is. And Dr. Fletcher, I just want to give out a shout out to them right now, because everything that I talk about today is what we do on Friday mornings at 7:45. Every Friday, we have that conversation, and we have hard conversations. And sometimes they're not pleasant, but we have to do what's necessary. But I can tell you that the team at KDE, at the top of the list every week, is how does this impact our children, and what do we have to do to make it work? And it's really special on my part to be a part of such an awesome team. And I tell them that. I want them to know that. And I want you to know that, because every week, while you're getting ready for students and you're doing the things that you need to do, behind you is a department that goes to bat for you to get dollars to do everything we're doing on this campus. And when we do it, we don't make our decisions in isolation. Jared, I just had a conversation because I need his help on IT. You know, student life. They're at the table when we were talking about Middleton Hall. Dr. Petrie, he's in and out. You know, he's like chasing a mouse through the barn, but occasionally we do corner him up a little bit, and he does give us good input. But I just say that to tell you that we make decisions collectively on how we can best serve the students at Kentucky School for the Deaf. And it's a proud moment when we see things happen. Everything doesn't get to be Marshall Hall. Everything doesn't get to shine in the lights at night. Even though we got good lighting, that was a good project we did too. I can tell you that. But all of these things that I'm telling you about, I just want you to know there's a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure this campus is viable. And it's proud to be a part of such a team, and we don't take our work lightly, I can tell you. It's long hours, and a lot of times it's real inconvenient. The hours are, but the work is very rewarding. So that is the overall snapshot. I know you've got a lot to do. I'll be glad at some point, to give you more in the weeds. And Dr. Fletcher, anytime you'd like to get caught up, you can talk to Karen. I'll let you talk to Karen. No, I'll be glad to meet with you and spell this out and give you a more detail when your schedule has a minute. I'm sure right now that doesn't happen either. So questions that you may have, again, I just wanted to put these things out there in front of you. But I'll be glad to answer anything that I can for you. Thank you, Archie. I was a little nervous. Any questions?
Cindy to come up here.
Yeah.
Because it's just so.
Can't get through yet. Like 3 cookies. Tell me about it. 3 cookies.
Hello, everyone. So good to be here. I do have a question. What do you anticipate happening to Lee Hall in the auditorium? No, I've asked this question many years. What do you anticipate about that? Can you explain more about that?
That's a great question, and let me answer this and also include Dr. Fletcher. Dr. Fletcher, Lee Hall is the building up here on the corner that we were given $1 million by the legislature to do a study and a design. So there is a design. It's ready to go. It's in the department's 6-year plan. It did not get funding in this past biennium. So we're at the mercy of the legislature. As soon as they have that goodness in their heart to send dollars our way, that project's ready. But we have the design, we have everything ready, all from geothermal for HVAC to the interior. Everything about that project is on paper and can start. I just need funding.
Okay, thank you. Scott has a question.
Thank
you very much for all the updates. We're happy to hear about the progress, and especially with the museum. That is such good news.
Wonderful.
Very good about that. Especially Rhonda. One question about Lee Hall. We do have a study plan from now, and it's available to be viewed at the museum. If anyone wants to see that, that is available. And hopefully this proposal does become a reality. It just all depends on the funding with legislation. And I hope that everyone would remind them that we all support this. The reason being is Lee Hall would become the face of KSD. When you drive by the campus, it looks alive. And, the kids playing in front of Lee Hall and the auditorium and everything. It's just a win-win situation for the community, for everyone here in the school to use this building. So thank you for sharing this plan. And I printed out viewing so that people can see that.
Oh,
Hopefully, it will be successful. Do you believe it'll be successful?
I don't make it a habit of predicting the legislature. I think at some point it would because it's a viable project, but again, we're always, as we know, we're at the mercy of the legislature. And so I would just encourage us to support Dr. Fletcher and the lobbying units activity that the department does on our behalf to help them make a case for why that building needs to be funded.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you will support.
I hope that you'll be able to support this, Dr. Fletcher. This is so important for the community here and the school.
And people start.
People to see, people have seen this plan. They really like this plan. It's such a win-win situation for the community,
And
for the alumni, and for the school. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions, comments? Okay, thank you. Next up, Dr. Lynn Petrie, our principal.
Hey.
Interpreters ready? I'm going to test you all. All right, you ready? Before we start, I want to thank everyone for the food that was provided. So thank you. We started school on Sunday. Had a long week. I'd like to relax using the interpreter. Want to give the updates.
Good job.
All right.
Good job.
I'm trying. I'm still trying. I'm still learning.
All right. I want to make sure that I'm clear with everybody as I give my updates. I'm going to be introducing new staff. So I want to make sure I'm clear and pronouncing their names. My finger spelling still slow, so I'll be here. They're trying to get me out of here before 8 o'clock. So we'll cut down on finger spelling. I'm getting quicker, but not quite there yet. So I want to introduce new staff that we brought on. Very excited. Students are going to be served well by the people that I'm going to introduce to you. This is my right hand. Very happy to have her on staff. She brings a lot of experience from North Carolina, South Carolina. I've already apologized to the new commissioner about her being from South Carolina. We're going to convert her over to the Kentucky way of doing things, but she brings a wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience, and she's new assistant principal, Amy Strassner. She had some things to do tonight that was already pre-planned before she ever came on staff, so she couldn't be with us. I will introduce her next time at the next board meeting. So she did apologize for having prior engagements before tonight. April Beard, our behavior specialist. I'll let her stand up, give a little bit of a testimony, not about me, but about her experience and relationships with Kentucky School. And I told her to keep it short and brief.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be back at KSD. I was a mother here a long time ago. My son, Alec, I was a class of 2011. I did not graduate from here, but he did have school here through the 9th grade. So, 2 years ago, I felt like I wanted to go back home to KSD. So I applied for everything related to KSD. everything, truly. And through many interviews, and Dr. Petrie had seen me, saw, really wanted me to be a staff member here. And so presented me the job, and I accepted the offer. So I'm so happy to be here, and I hope to be reconnected with the family, with the students, and I really feel like it's a revival for KSD. So I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, April. She's very important. She's going to help with our day program and also carry over into our dorm program. So she's a very important member, and I'm so happy to have her on staff. Raquel Eaton, she was with us last year. She was a long-term sub, but now she has moved into the middle school math position. Very happy. She's bringing a lot of experience from Texas School for the Deaf, bringing it here to Richmond and Kentucky School for the Deaf. So I'm very happy to have her. She's fit in well last year. I'm kind of going to miss her in that long-term food and nutrition class, the culinary class, because she made a lot of cookies, her and the students. So I'm going to miss that, but we got someone to fill in that role in our CTE department. So that's going to keep continuing. Katie Fromholt, she is with our outreach team. She was with us last year, but she is on staff now, and she's going to be reaching out across the state to help families and students to get them prepared and help new teachers to in that deaf and hard of hearing realm. Cindy Harris, some of you all might know her. Thank Archie. Thank Barbie. I know her. We're trying to keep it in the family, literally, here at KSC. So she is the staff interpreter. Very good. Very happy to have her. She's very energetic and livens up that interpreting team. Brittany Grubb, she is in our elementary department. She is helping in the learning behavior disorders along those realms to help kind of increase what we're doing in the elementary school, helping our teachers, just supporting them and supporting students and getting us all on track. She is a ball of energy, and I really enjoy being around her. She really adds to a very positive vibe in that building. And if you get a chance to meet her, you'll know what I mean. She is like chasing a mouse in the barn. I think that was a reference that I've never heard, and I'm glad T was in here to present that one because I'll use that from here on. Joe Pfister in our career technical education department. He is going to be leading our drone program. He's going to be leading our adding to our store with the school store and really adding into the 3D printing and other things with CNC labs. So I'm very excited to see what our kids are able to produce out of there. He is also going to be collaborating with our robotics team. And I told him that I expect to win a lot of robotics competitions as he leads those students through there because he comes with all that background. So we're adding STEAM education into our career technical education program. And I'm very excited to be able to unveil that to you whenever we open Argo back up. Amanda Gillum is in our transition coordinating role. She's going to be helping get us out into the community. She's going to be setting up, hopefully, jobs, internships for these students. Going to be working on such things as driving permits, getting students transition ready, and we're starting at elementary all the way up to high school. Of course, our elementary students are not going to be driving or getting a permit, but they'll be associated with just learning the vocabulary of transition early and progressing through, stepping through middle school up into high school. So I'm very excited about adding all these new people. We still have some hiring to do, and we have new hires that our student life director is going to update you with in the dorm setting. So this concludes the the day new hires as of right now. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the ASL shop training, the equal access to communication for deaf persons. We piloted this training this past spring. We received a lot of great feedback. The staff was very appreciative of the training, and we've been gearing up for the new school year and including that into hiring of the new staff. We want to be consistent in our message that we're delivering across our whole staff. So I would like to ask the board to take action recommending that all KSD employees complete the ASL shop training in deaf persons' right to equal access to communication. I would like to do this, have it recommended by, have it complete by August 31st, 2024. Would you all recommend that as a board?
Yes. Got the, yeah. Just as yes.
We will have that completed by August 31st, 2024. Thank you all very much. And the ASL shop owners, one of the students graduated from Kentucky School for the Deaf. It's Zarnoza. Now, getting into my vision, and then I'll hand the floor over to our student life director, Justin Badgett, and he will tell you a little bit about the updates from our dorm life. The vision I have is pretty simple. I want to empower our school community through transparent communication, collaboration, not only in the community, but here on campus, here with the community that's already built, the family that's already built at KSD. I want to focus this year on improving student reading and writing skills. We're going to look at different evidence-based just supports for that as far as programming. We want to focus on student and staff growth overall. Together, we're going to build a dynamic environment where every voice is being heard and our learners thrive. We've already started a PTO, which is a parent-teacher organization, to increase and really focus on increasing our family engagement. And of course, we're going to enhance opportunities for our deaf and hard of hearing students in the areas of career technical education. I'll give you some highlights from my first complete year, and the teachers have been excellent all over campus, but I really want to focus on career technical education, on what we were able to do in a short period of time last year, and just building on what was already set. And I just want to highlight a few of what our students have done in that program over there. We've had a sophomore complete the BASF, and you'd have to ask Sandy Smock. She didn't put the acronyms on there. There's so many acronyms at this school. Everything kind of runs together. But a plant science certification for one of our sophomores. All the rest are going to be seniors on what they were able to accomplish last year. One got small engine technology certification, veterinary medical application certification, Texas Tech personal finance literacy certification, animal science industry certification, plant science industry certification, another veterinary medical application certification, another plant science certification, and an ag ed internship with the Boyle County Circuit Clerk's Office. Very happy for those. Some of our seniors, 3 out of our graduating class were accepted into colleges, 2 at EKU, 1 at Gallaudet. One of our seniors completed welding certifications and also an auto mechanic certification. I'm very happy with everything that they were able to do. We had another internship at the medical health board here in the county. Very happy with her. Our transition services out of CTE, we were able to get a lot of experience, a lot of exposure at visiting the Bluegrass Community Technical College. And we also visited the Louisville Farm Machinery Show and got to tour Toyota. They have a wonderful deaf community working at Toyota, so that the students were able to see where they could possibly see themselves. And that's what I want. That's what I want, is to set up experiences where our students can see themselves becoming in that career, that higher education opportunity. So that is, I've already been given, hey, keep it short. So I'm going to hand it off to our student life director, let him give a few updates. I told him to keep his under an hour, so he should be good. Justin Paget, our student life director.
Good evening. My name is Justin Paget. I am the Director of Student Life here at KSD. I've got a few updates for you. Got a staff picture. I had a couple people on vacation, so it's not my full staff. We still have a few we've interviewed 3 days this week. So hopefully you all share that. If y'all see it on Facebook, put those postings out, which help us get to a full staff in the Student Life Department. I think we had 1 week this past year where we were fully staffed. But we have built a good thing. We've got a good thing rolling in the Student Life Department, and we want good people, good quality applicants to come and join that team. So just to introduce some of my new folks. Thanks, sir. We have it reinstated third shift supervisor. Mr. Kevin Hamilton has moved back to second shift. So we have 2 supervisors on second shift. Miss Brianna Womble was in the Student Life Department, and she has taken on third shift supervisor. All right. Jamie Hubbard has joined us on our second shift team. Andrew Vaughn joined us on our third shift. Jennifer Fidelia is on second shift as well. And Alec Beard on second shift. It's April's son. I think we had him right before ahead of her, so we snagged him in. He's been a great asset, former student here at KSD. Some of the things, just piggyback off of what Dr. Petrie, we are always willing to support what the First Shift Today program does here at KSD. Family engagement is a big push for us this year in student life. We want to communicate and connect with our families. We started that this Sunday on registration day. We have weekly emails going home to families about the things that are going on in our dorms. We also send home a weekly activities list for those families so they know what's coming the week ahead. And we have really hit remind hard this year. We've sent out invitations, both hard copy and plugging in phone numbers and having parents accept that so that we can get that information to them in real time. Some of the things that we have been very excited about is moving back to Brady Hall dorm. That was the #1 compliment from our parents coming in and seeing that fresh look. I know Mr. T and Rick Westerfield has been instrumental in getting that program, that process completed with the renovation. So we're excited that we have students back in Brady Hall dorm. Very excited to be there. Our independent living skills program. We revamped last year. We got that kicked back off, and it kind of, during COVID, kind of got pushed back to the back burner and short staff. But we gave some designated time for our independent living skills coordinator to work with his students and make sure that we're ready for that transition into college and career. So that's something that we're going to continue to work on this year. We want to continue to grow that program for all of our high school students, but especially those seniors who are getting ready to leave us here at KSD. Last year, they took trips off campus. They worked on real life skills, how to go to a restaurant, how to order food, how to tip your server. And so we did lots and lots of things like that. That gave them that real life opportunity. We had a great collaboration with our local library system here in Bull County. They were very receptive to us. We went over, participated in a lot of their literacy activities because we want to support that reading and math goals that the day program is doing as well, and getting our kids connected and reading. So we'll continue that collaboration this year. We also collaborated with our Parks and Recs department here in Danville, and we had students that participated in rec basketball and cheerleading last year. We were very excited to get our younger students involved in those athletics. We were involved with local nursing homes. We sent Christmas cards to folks that were there and a lot of retirees from KSD at Christmas time. And our kiddos also went trick-or-treating at several of the nursing homes. They were handing out candy, so we took our kiddos there to make those connections. We participated in some events over at the Bull County Extension Office here in Bull County. We completed some work with Jacobs Hall Museum and the Foundation around Christmas, volunteering so our kiddos can understand the importance of what Jacobs Hall represents in the history of KSD, and we want to continue that partnership. Most recently, we have been working with Ms. Barbie Harris, Ms. Bethany Yonts, with the Junior NAD program and getting that back off and running. And so we have a leadership conference coming up here this month. We're very excited to get our kiddos connected to that and being represented at the National Association of Deaf. Last thing I want to mention is Voc Rehab. They were here at registration day. We've already had some meetings connecting the student life department with them, getting some kids, just like the driver program. We're going to support as much as we can, getting our kids ready for those real life experiences outside of KSD.
Give a round of applause for all of our updates. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Peter. You guys are doing awesome work. Glad to hear it. Next up is Shannon Sparkman, the Director of State Schools. I'm going to try something new. I'm learning this time as well. I told Jeff that I would try, so I'll do what little I can. I have a lot to learn. And now I think I probably need to. Thank you. And I appreciate everybody having patience because it's definitely a learning process. But I will continue. I will continue to practice. I only have a few updates for this evening. We do have one new staff member with the Division of State Schools, and that is our administrative assistant, Leslie Cheatham. And she works at the Frankfurt office. We had our policy updates. That was following the legislative session. Excuse me. Our partnership with KSBA. They sent our updates following that session. They went to the advisory boards at both state schools, the principals, Office of Legal Services, our HR administrators, for review and feedback. And then last week, they were presented at the KBE meeting. So we'll work with KSBA to get our manuals updated online, our hard copies. We are also getting ready to start a two-phase project with KSBA. So we signed a partnership with them this past spring. So phase one, we're looking at establishing procedures to our current policies. And then phase two, we're looking at doing a policy audit to see what needs we have. The Division of State Schools with the Office of Special Education and Early Learning presented at the Kentucky case on July 19th.
We had mini sessions, and Emma Raleigh and I presented a little bit of information on the outreach programs at state schools. One of the things that we did was a few minutes just to present an overview, but then really sat down and talked. It was a great session. We got a lot of feedback from a lot of people across the state. I really liked the setup. It was personal, able to build some relationships. With outreach being a focus this year, Emma and I are scheduled to attend one monthly meeting with our surtacs. So we have 9 regional technical assistance centers across the state, and we're going to attend over the next 9 or 10 months each region so that we can connect with all of the directors of special education across the state, and we can see what the needs are with the kids that they serve. Shelley Badgett and Emma will be presenting about state schools. It's a day in the life of a student at state schools at our DOSE Institute, and that is September 9th and 10th. We're excited about that. And the last thing that I do want to mention is that we've been filling a lot of vacancies at the school this summer, and we've done a great job. I'm excited about what next year will bring, but we still have a few that we're working on. So we have our audiologist position. We have our school psychologist position, a second one, and then also a speech pathologist. And as we're trying to fill these positions, we're going to have to put the district evaluations, outside district evaluations on hold because we need to be able to focus on the students right here. The outreach department will continue to work with the districts across the state while we try to get these positions filled. But I just wanted to let everybody know that we're working hard to get them filled, but right now we need to be able to focus and meet the needs of the kids right here in school and consult with districts moving forward. That's really the updates that I have for tonight. It's hard to believe that we're already right back here. It goes fast, the year has gone fast. But I'm excited about what we're going to be able to do this year. We've been able to pull on some additional staff, and I'm sure that Dr. Petrie is excited to have an assistant principal this year. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I have a question.
Yeah, I actually have a question. This is on the proposed policy that's being reviewed recently. Does that include anything about SPI? I'm sorry. The SLIPI? The sign language proficiency interview? Right. Or the SROs. The reason why I ask is because signing is important, and we want to make sure that's always a goal that's overarching and that everyone is meeting those abilities. And so if we can't access communication at school or in the dorms, then what are we doing? And so for safety reasons and emotional needs, we need to make sure those are being met. So I'm just curious if that was included.
Yes, so when we did the policy updates for KDE, that was not, but that is under review. So we've started to have some meetings right now. We're working with Dr. Petrie to make sure that every single staff member has a SLIPI score by September 1st. And then we're going to sit down, review that policy, and see what kind of updates we might need to make. So even though it didn't go through this last time, it is most definitely on the radar and will be a focus.
Great, thank you.
But
And just for your information, I do have a policy that was done. I have saved everything since I retired, and I have it out of
I don't doubt that at all, and I appreciate that. But I just couldn't believe I have a copy. I appreciate you, Scott, though.
Okay.
Okay, additionally, I wanted to ask
The outreach.
regarding outreach. There are great opportunities for them to reach out further in the state. And
Hello.
introduce themselves and recognize that KSD is on the map and that we're here. And it's just important that they know that we're here. I think it's also important that we have more people going out into those schools and working with others and just identifying that KSD is still around. So thank you for that work.
Yeah, thank you. That is definitely a focus this year, and we're excited. Em and I have talked numerous times about being able to go out and meet with the directors across the state. So I'm excited for what this year will bring.
Thank you. In the back, we had a comment.
Jared?
Oh gosh, okay. Well, pardon my summer attire. My name is Wilton McMillan. I worked 38 years in deaf education before I retired. And I had 8 years at KDE, which is one of the reasons why I would love to meet with you, Dr. Fletcher. So congratulations on your new role. My question here this evening is, because of my work experience at KDE and in other positions, one of my pet peeves has always been making sure that they continue to correct the problem with putting KSD as one of the options for placement. While we were there, I never saw much success with enforcing that. So that's one example of what I would like to discuss with you, Dr. Fletcher, and may I call you Robbie. I think it's pretty sad that it's not being enforced. So are there any plans to make sure that that's going to happen in the public school system? And if so, what are they?
I think right now what we need to do is, with that focus on outreach, is find out what's going on in the state. We need to be able to connect with the people, with the directors of special education, and just find out what our baseline is, what the needs are.
Anything else? Ms. Bartman? Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. As chair, reporting, I want to announce, we've been really busy. The board here, the advisory board. We do want to recognize that we have these new name tags. Everyone has these new name tags, and it was Kathy White's idea. So thank you, Kathy. Here's the board class here, giving us more class, having these name tags, something a little bit different, and it motivates us to work hard. And I really think it's really neat. And, we have 3 prongs. One is community outreach or connections on July 30th at Rita's house. We all gathered there. It was like a warm welcome to the new principal and assistant principal, and also inviting those within the community, legislation and deaf community leaders, Nancy KAD president, KSG president, and those from Center College, and the superintendent from Boyle County, and Danville High School. Is that right? No, Danville High School wasn't there. It was a representative from Danville High School. So it was such a great experience, everyone coming in, and then also having Dr. Petrie making that new connection. We're really excited about the new project. We've already had a lot of dialogue regarding this, and we're looking forward to this. The first communication or community connection, and with our new principal and assistant principal working with, meeting with those within the community, making that outreach, creating better partnerships with others, which is really important. We don't only focus on KSD, we also focus on connecting with the outer community and being innovative with our projects, leadership projects and such, and CTE. We're doing a lot in the community, and that gives students an opportunity to go out there and interact with others within the community. And the second prong is meeting with KSC registration day. We did like a light luncheon, and this was an opportunity for parents and students to gather and have a good time. And Dr. Petrie did an excellent job doing the houses there. And Scott made
nobody watching.
when no one was watching.
I was in there. Other people
I actually took a picture. I don't know if you actually like yeah, so it was really neat. It was something we never seen before. We also gave out ice cream when we got there, which was really nice. Dr. Petrie says ice cream's my favorite. Jeff says, this was a great opportunity for students and parents interacting. And the third prong is today's event for the teachers and staff. And the purpose of these three different events that we had, the purpose of these developments is it gives us an opportunity to interact. And I believe it was such an excellent opportunity. You've been enjoying it, Dr. Petrie? Everyone else? Again, I do want to thank everyone on the board for all of your hard work and all of your dialogue to allow all of this to take place. Congratulations to everyone. Also, we don't want to forget, I want to say thank you to Christy Hodge for doing an excellent job coordinating all of this planning, helping out with the registration day, the booths, and everything. We want to thank Christy Hodge for her great work. For a moment, we want to report on, the KSD website. There's some adjustments being made. There's a report that lists the minutes. There was one that was entirely PDF and it pulls up. There was another part of the middle of the year where it has a link that pulls up a few things, and it becomes difficult to download. Some of you might not have a desktop where you're able to pull that up. And then the third one, we have it be sent to Google Docs. So we're going to need to make some adjustments to that to make sure all of it is on the same platform. Me, Dr. Petrie, and I will be working on that to make it more accessible for the advisory board, and our goal is to be user-friendly in terms of the report and make it very clear, concise with the board and the report, make it like a file manager where everything is just lined up efficiently as opposed to one column on the side. We're going to make adjustments. We're definitely going to make an improvement to that later this year. The report, the copy of the report, the final report. We do need to get this report as soon as possible. Discussed earlier. Okay. For the subcommittee, we did have a discussion. We're still working on it. My first proposal, we plan on making a proposal in November. I do need more time with some of the other members, and it is possible. First one is called the Public Relations Marketing Strategy Committee. There's going to be PR committee, Connect Marketing committee. Usually that's both are together. With the PR, it's more focused on interacting with the public and such, whereas the content strategy marketing that focuses on the digital and videos and the documentation, and makes sense that they merge, because the PR will have to both rely on the content marketing, and then they rely on vice versa. So with PR, It's a good thing, sharing great positive advertising about KSC. That's something advertising how excellent the school is. And with marketing content, we develop the content and editing to help with the PR for the school. And so we're going to have a subcommittee to work on this, and with Dr. Petrie, the principal, and also working with Shannon and working with the Department of Education. We're all going to be involved in marketing to make that next recommendation possible. That's not my plan forward. Any questions? I would like to follow up one point. Legislation day. I would like the legislation to come in to the school because there are students from different parts of the state. It would be great to invite them and the legislations to get an idea of how this kid's from Wayne County. It creates more awareness and more advocacy for this school. Based on my experience in Louisiana School for the Deaf, we bring in our group and introduce the legislation. They realize, oh, you're basically creating opportunities for interaction between legislation and the students, and that's the same thing that we want to that legislation. There are students from my district or county that are in the school. I do want to know that KDE has created a line on our page for non-voting students. Has that been added yet? Discuss the concept of having a non-voting student as a member of the advisory board. So we would have an amendment to the law. And we would add one more member that we classify as a non-voting student. And we could go ahead and raise nominations. That's something that
still need to follow up with the Office of Legal Services. We started the conversation, but we need to have another follow-up.
Yes, we want to make sure we need to develop a policy and make it into a bylaw. Is that something that we need to discuss? Are the KSC students required to file an application, go through an interview process? That's my question regarding that. And that's what we've had a dialogue. We have to amend it to law first. And then we would have a policy, and then from that we would amend that as a bylaw and develop the process. One of the nominees as the student.
And I hope that I appreciate the question. I was looking at it. Student team, I hope that it have for me.
Hope that you attend every meeting we have, that we know him and interact with him. I have better understanding the communication, partnership with KDE, and building that trust with parties. So important. There being a distance between people, and I know that he's such a large still. We can appreciate the commissioner. What is that? So important to foster that relationship between staff and KDE, so that we would see him here. So that he would be able to see in this sense of what's needed here. Because sometimes we want things to be a short time, which is a common practice. But it's so great for us to be able to express to you directly. We do appreciate you here. Just saying, yes, we really appreciate you being here. And I do want to add that it's really important to the commissioner, and I know that the commissioner has a full plate, has a lot of responsibilities, and it's so great for you and I to come here. So you're in our family now. Go ahead. First of all, first of all, it's an honor to be here. Just to let you know what my goal is to serve students at all schools here, Kentucky School for the Deaf, of course, Kentucky School for the Blind, the ATCs, but also the 171 districts. So my goal is always to serve students first and foremost. But also, too, I want to keep those open lines of communication. Greta and her team does a great job of being open and accessible, but also know that the commission also wants to be open and accessible to you also. I'll do my best to be at these advisory board meetings so that we can have that open dialogue and we have that opportunity to work together directly. Again, trust my staff, and I know they do a great job, but also too, just want you to know about my presence. It is very important to me that this school and every school knows that I love kids and I want to be here to serve. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Robbie. We're so thrilled to work with you moving forward and also with the staff and everyone here. And we hope that in the future we would have a better relationship, better communication, and open lines of communication, just like you said. Because in the past, I know I had a difficult time having the transparency in terms of communication because of the distance and sometimes the miscommunication. We need that direct line of communication. Our goal is to have, speedy responses. I understand that sometimes there's a delay, and if there's a delay, sometimes school becomes delayed in terms of our operations. And so we like to have quick responses when we communicate. When there's an improvement in communication, our school improves. We're so looking forward to working with you guys. Now, since I do want to have I forgot to mention, this discussion before several times. Once a year, having a collaboration with ASD and ASD, we're getting together and we'd like to have a discussion how to improve our school. So I hope that we'd be able to start that. Have a once a year that's more casual, where we just interact. What our role is for both schools.
Really, it's great that you mentioned that because earlier today I was at the Kentucky School for the Blind, and their chairman, Chairman Malhotra, would love to get together the two boards, maybe in February, at least do this once a year, to discuss the great things that are going on in both schools and how we can work together. And also Chairman Malhotra was also very interested in learning some of the things that was going on here to help the school, Kentucky School for the Blind. After all, we are one team. We want to make sure that we work together to lift each other up. So again, the Kentucky School for the Blind and their advisory council, their advisory board, is very interested in working together. And we want to make sure we help facilitate that.
Thank you, Dr. Fletcher.
Thank you, Dr. Fletcher. You're very welcome.
So I do want to add one last thing. We've had a long discussion in terms of ideas of having a retreat. We've discussed, for a while, I would say probably the last 4 years, it's got to be discussed. But in terms of when, the pandemic obviously was a bad time. We had so many ideas and projects that got interrupted by COVID. In terms of the retreat, the reason for the retreat is, obviously to be casual and also be an opportunity to learn about KSD and also KDE, getting updates from them. I think it would be such a great idea. And also
involving KSB as well. Everyone gathering together, have an orientation day, training of some sort, education, but also be relaxed and casual. We figured that would be a good idea, and I hope that, KDE could be able to help allow us to make this happen, this retreat.
Jeff, I would second that idea because being new on this board, and I'll be honest with you, at times I'm really unsure as to how can I be an effective board member. I mean, as a KSD advisory board member, is my role really just to come sit and listen? Is there something that I should do to really be an effective board member? I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what it is. So I've been here, 3 times? I've asked a couple questions at times, but I'm not really sure if even the questions that I asked were productive questions. Were they received well? Were they not received well? And so I wonder if a retreat could really, if KDE would say, what are your expectations of an advisory board? I've read the bylaws. I know what the law says. But sometimes, having worked at KDE for 19 years, I know there's a huge disconnect between different aspects of districts, boards, departments. So what are the expectations of a board? Are we just to sit here and listen to reports? I'm excited to hear those reports, to be honest with you. I love hearing them. But really, what are your expectations of me? Is there something as a parent of a deaf child? Is there a reason why you put me on this panel? And is there something that I should be doing to effectively, as you said, serve the children? Because that's really why I'm here. I love kids and I want to serve them. So at the end of the day, when we talk about, I'm also a former teacher. I measure, how do I know that I was effective at the end of the year? At the end of 4 years, did I serve well? So I think a retreat could help us know. What is it you want me to do?
That's great, Kathy. Yes, absolutely. That's a great example. Some members just being unsure, especially when they become a new member, being, unsure, and, has led to, we've been thinking, discussing. When, I was first elected as chair, we had an orientation that we had a retreat. We have an annual retreat, really. So that way, with this annual retreat, everyone would know what to do, what to expect, what our action plans are, what to anticipate. At the same time, this would allow for KDE, the state legislators, or anyone, all of those people, we would knock out multiple birds with one stone. Everyone would be involved in that interaction. And, we have a handbook with all of the information. That way, the advisory board would know, okay, this is what we need to do and proceed from there. And also know what to do with state expectations, This was an example we discussed with the retreat. We would love to develop a retreat like that. Okay. Just want to add. Okay. Public comments. Start with Rhonda Bobman.
Rhonda Boner's question for the past 2 years has been about Brady Hall. The HVAC system is not working well. Most offices in Brady are having warm air pushed out during the summer, and we are having to use fans as needed. Downstairs in the dorm area, some of the rooms are extremely warm and some seem to be working okay. The question is, what is the process and progress regarding the replacement of the HVAC system in Brady Hall as it stands? I would like to refer to Mr. Hewlett if he's still here. Okay, we'll refer that to Mr. Hewlett to follow up on. He's good. He's got a good disappearing act. He'll show up out of nowhere and leave. You're not even expecting. So we will wrangle him at another time and make sure he follows up with the answer to that question.
The updates for the Brady, it's supposed to get all new HVAC units onto, I'm guessing here pretty soon. So, I mean, T would give us that timeline, but he has updated. Rick let me know before he retired that it is due to get all new HVAC systems. They had the new roof put on, and now it's supposed to get because he thought it was kind of backwards with the way they'd done it. They put the new roof on, now they're putting the HVAC on. So that is the next phase. The new roof has been completed. I think our dorm life director can give some updates as well.
Chiller was installed, but they're individual units.
Yeah.
That's the next phase.
Got the new chiller. We got the drains for that. And now comes the HVAC units that actually are to be installed.
And if I can clarify, are you meaning that they're working on the roof first?
That's
I thought that they were working on the HVAC when they were up there, but it was the roof. Okay, so they put that first and then working in phases. Okay.
So it's coming, Rhonda. Just hang on. Coming.
Okay, thank you. Does that help, Rhonda? I'm going to keep an eye on more people that have to work in Brady. I'm trying to advocate for you. And for Emma. Okay, up next is Danielle Beckman.
They told me to sign in there. I'm just the interpreter. They told me to sign in. I don't have comments.
Okay, Shelton. Chris Helton. I would like to know about the signs on campus and whether they're going to be updated. There are a few around campus that I've noticed. Welcome to KSD. There is none. I thought, there should be something. At Walker Hall, there was a big sign out front. Welcome to KSD. Where did that sign go? And why don't we have something here on campus as people enter the school? I haven't seen that. You drive from the community where other deaf schools have this. We don't. We're driving through the community. We don't have any type of recognition to say that here we are. Also, there's a place out front. It's white. There's a white sign. I think that it should be changed to something that's like something more vibrant that is electronic, that can be something like a scrolling marquee that can kind of show the messages and updates that are up there. Just a little update on the front of campus that might kind of make it more modern.
Are you like reading what we're going to be doing? It seems like you're reading like behind the scenes. We got some updates. I'm glad you asked about that. We've got several projects to update all the signage on campus, accessible signage on campus. I'll let Jared, kind of give you an update on the signage that we're going to be putting around campus, some of the things that we're going to do to make campus more accessible. And I'm very excited about it. Everybody is going to see campus start to transform. And it is all thanks to a huge amount of collaboration by more than myself, because there's no way I've been able to do it. But it is a collection of people that is going to be adding to a ton of new projects, and I'm excited to unveil those. And just to let you know that we're working on them, I'll let Jared kind of give you some updates on what we're doing in that area of signage.
Yes, because I have a short amount of time, and if I talk fast, like, yeah, okay. So,
The signs that you're talking about, the white one, that soon will be taken down and it will be replaced with a big electronic screen. So we'll be able to show pictures and slides and a number of, who knows what else. I don't know if we're going to be able to have the time, but a video. But we will have pictures and different slideshows and announcements and all sorts of things on there. So that, you're right, other schools do have that, and we are working on that. And so I just reached out and was asking about 100-inch screen, so it's going to be pretty big and hard to miss. Also, the rest of campus, we will soon be ordering 20 TVs that are about 55 inches, and those will be in every building. They will be in the dorms. So when you come onto campus, there will be, there's a TV right now that has like announcements, slides, and pictures and whatnot, but we are going to have that more connected around campus. And we will actually have them in Grow Hall, and we will have the food menu for the day. We'll have them in the dorms so that they have their responsibilities and whatnot, you know, a schedule of when lights are out and all of those things, more visual. So there are a lot of things coming, and a lot of screens and electronics going to be placed on campus regarding the signs that you're talking about. If it's okay, can I quickly explain about what's going to happen in here? I don't think you can make it quick. Okay, so this is a little off from Chris's comment, but starting in September, by the next meeting, it'll be finished. But we will completely transform this area with 2 big screens. I think they're 96 inches that will be placed right here behind the board. And one will be on the wall across from it. And we will have lighting added. And we'll have a camera.
Wow.
That will, this is awkward, sorry. Ignore this. We're going to have 4 cameras that are going to be placed so that the board can be viewed. The speakers who come up right here will be viewed easily. Any presentations will be on the TV and projected, and all of them will be set. And so I will not be tearing down and setting up for every advisory board. It will already be ready. We flip a switch and we're ready to roll. So that is going to be worked on, and at the next meeting, we will have that set up. So be looking for that.
I want to take a moment to recognize who kind of organized, got with all the senior leadership here on campus with the directors. Emma Riley was vital in connecting all those ARP projects that you are going to see start transforming campus. I can't wait to see them. I'm excited about them. It's going to touch every area here on campus, from the classroom here to the dorm to the campus signage and even the gates, which sometimes they're closed, a little hard to access, but we're getting new communication systems to put on the front of those to be able to keep people out or keep people in, which whatever we choose. But those are going to be good updates that I can't wait to see. The retreat, I'm very excited about it, so I can get Dr. Fletcher down here and we can do some cornhole tournaments with doing KDE and KSD. So we'll get that going. I just thought I'd throw that in there. But I'm very excited about what we're going to see on campus.
Thank you. All right, and the last is Wilton McMillan. Hello again. As a father of 3 deaf sons and 4 deaf grandchildren, I feel that I have the right to make what I'm about to say the case for all babies who are born and their education starts at birth. I feel very, very strongly about this. That should be the case for every deaf or hard of hearing child that is born. Otherwise, we continue and will continue to see many cases of language deprivation, children suffering, and they need to have access to direct instruction, direct communication, interaction with people who are able to sign 24/7. We have to work with parents who really don't know what to do once they find out that their children are deaf when they're born. We need to be there to help intervene quickly, and that is not happening. It breaks my heart every day, and I kid you not, truly breaks my heart for these babies and these children who do not have this. I would like to request the Commissioner, Rob B. Fletcher, and all the KDE individuals here in our KSD Advisory Board to please take a hard look at that. I worked at KDE for 8 years, and I fought that battle, fought very hard for that. Unfortunately, I kept getting a variety of answers, and a classic example was KDE is not responsible for that age group. I beg to differ. One answer I received often that was said by multiple people was, it's a law. And my response is, the laws are made to be changed. It is time to change those laws. I would like to request that our commissioner speak on his thoughts about that.
I do believe that early childhood education, birth to 5, regardless of the situation, is very important. And of course, from the department's standpoint, we would support any effort to help students, help children that are deaf, hard of hearing from that K to 5. But unfortunately, legislators have to give us that opportunity, that authority, if you will, to work more towards that. And of course, funding. Any efforts that are there will definitely support. I will refer to Greta. Is there anything that I'm missing?
Thank you. One of the things that I would add, we've had these conversations, under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, that's where the funding comes. And of course, going back to the comment about it being the law, the reason that matters so much in this world is because we receive at the department around $180 million to service students who qualify for special education services. That is for what is known as Part B programs, which is ages 3 to 21. That's where we get much of the funding to support some students here at KSD, along with the state dollars that we receive through the legislature. The Part C programs also receive funding from the federal government, and that's birth to age 3. And so, to your point, you're absolutely correct, and we absolutely agree that education begins at birth. And for students or children, babies, who are born, that they can receive those services through First Steps or Part C programs. We have a pretty good working relationship with Paula Goff, who is the director of First Steps. Happy to invite her to one of these meetings as well, or to get information from her to share with you for ways that we can improve that partnership, or that we could work more collaboratively together, or, even work to improve some outreach through that program. Also, one of the things that I will share is that, they also went through a visit from the U.S. Department of Education this year. So they have really had a lot of scrutiny, just like we have. We've shared with you, we had this monitoring visit this year at the department. And one of the suggestions while we were in the room with USAID was, how could USAID help us improve that working relationship across Part B and Part C programs? And so we have left some pointers with USAID on how they could help not only Kentucky, but all other states. And certainly, I welcome the feedback from this council, from others here tonight, on how we can not only work across the state with Part B and Part C programs, but also to work with USAID to help us help our students, their children. So I think it's a great comment. I'm all into working, with you. We've had this conversation before. I'm happy to continue to have the conversation because I totally agree. We've got to start, all intervention services have to start at home. Thank you.
I'd like to say something. I just wanted to throw out this, that a lot of times hearing individuals are unaware of language deprivation and the impact it has on deaf and hard of hearing children. And it's really important to me, especially in my graduate program right now. I'm especially learning about this topic, and audiologists and speech therapists and all those stakeholders that are involved with those interventions. And that 0 to 5, or really 6 window is the only window of opportunity for children to learn anything, regardless of their hearing loss. And once that window is closed, that absorption rate is so low. And so it is important that we are exposing these children to sign language as much as we can. It is the perfect opportunity to give them everything that they will need for the remainder of their life. Now, when parents have children and they are deaf, they can communicate with them. But once those parents are hearing and they don't sign, they have nothing. Every minute is lost. That baby is left out. They have no access. They're isolated. They are alone. And that continues those feelings as they get older. They're unable to make relationships with their family members. They're unable to communicate. And that applies to my life personally. I have hearing parents who forced me as I was growing up to be oral, and I love them for being able to communicate with them because I did speak with them, so I had an ability to do that, but I did not learn to sign until I was about 7. I was in the oral school, and I learned as much as I could without having that foundation of language. However, it was very unfair for me to have to work so much harder than every other student in my class, and I don't want that for any other child in Kentucky. And I went to public school, and I did have interpreters. However, I wish that I was able to go to a deaf school like KSD to have that opportunity to thrive in sign language. And it's my first language. And I feel like technically my first language is English, but by force, because I was forced to learn to speak and to hear. And it's so important for people to understand that we have to give those screenings, we have to give those interventions, we have to send our deaf and hard of hearing children to places like KSD to be evaluated to see what their needs are to improve them. Language is important over anything. And, 6 years is a big window of time that can impact the rest of their lives. And it impacts every aspect of it, and especially their identity. We have to create a world in a community for them where they feel like they fit in. And I never knew about my identity until I was much older, in high school even. And I missed out on so much. And so you have an identity, each of you do, and that's great. However, people like me do not have that until we're much older, and we look for that our entire lives. And we want all of our deaf and hard of hearing children to feel like they're worthwhile, that they can give back to us, and that we can give back to them. And it's very important to me. And I hope that you will really try to see that investment and see it through, whether it's a law that needs to be changed or discussions that need to be made. But that window of time, 0 to 5, needs to have language, and it's been proven and it's there and we have the opportunities, but if they don't have language, then whose fault is that really? It's not just the parents' burden to bear, it's all of us. Thank you.
If I may make one other comment, please. One of the things that I learned today, and it wasn't directed towards me, it was just said in general by a parent of a blind student. His comment was, unless you have a blind child, or unless you're blind yourself, you're a tourist. That stuck with me today. And the same thing is true if you are a parent of a deaf child, or you're deaf yourself, then I'm a tourist. That's why it's important for me to be here, because I need to learn from you. And I need to hear these kind of conversations so that I learn. And then also, too, I know how to better serve our students. I am very adamant about serving all children with all needs. So to hear comments 0 to 6, 0 to 3, 0 to 5 years of age, I need to hear those things. And I appreciate that. But again, I'm a tourist, and I'm hoping that you let me in the family. But still, I have a lot to learn. So in order for us to really be able to serve all our kids, we need to be able, we, KDE, which the KDE team is here a lot, but the kids need to be here also. So as often as I can, Lord willing, I'll be here to listen and to serve, and then you can open my eyes as we move forward.
Okay, Lisa, thank you. Everyone, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I kind of erased it, but now I feel like I want to say it.
All right.
I'm going to use you, Jeff. I'm talking this time as a parent. I took my badge off. I'm going to have her interpret because I'm so passionate about this. That when I came, when we had Alec, I had never met a deaf person before, ever, except one person in my hometown who handed me a card asking for money. I was actually pregnant with Alec at the time. Now, they weren't screening at birth when Alec was born, so we didn't get a diagnosis until he was 18 months old. Well, for about 5 minutes, I wanted to shelter in place to protect him from the world. Well, that lasted about 5 minutes, and then I jumped in as Mama Bear, and we started trying to find things to help him. The 0 to 3 program, First Steps, of which I later went to school. That's my undergrad, is early childhood education. Inspired because of this program here. Had a big connection with Kentucky School for the Deaf. Patricia Bruce, Pat Bruce, as many of the deaf community know, she was a developmental interventionist with First Steps, which was then had a different name. But there was a connection there. She did not sell me KSD. She brought me information on cochlear implants, on hearing aids, on deaf oral school. She brought me information on learning how to sign. The main thing was my child had gone 18 months without communication, and I needed something right then. We did not know his hearing loss at the time. We didn't know if hearing aids were if he was going to benefit from hearing aids. We attended deaf oral school 2 days a week, and Pat Bruce came to our home 2 days a week, 2 evenings in the week. And so one of our meetings, first thing I wanted was all of us to have names. So she gave us all name signs and Alec a name sign so we could just get started, and survival signs and all the bad words, because that's what I needed to know, having a deaf kiddo. So she said, hey, why don't you come visit KSD? We asked her about Kentucky School for the Deaf. We came here when Alec was still not 2 yet, and we toured the campus, and before we left, he was signing. And I knew that this is what my child needed. So that 0 to 3, that's the connection we need to make again. KSD, deaf community, you know that 95 or more % of deaf children are born to hearing parents. We need that connection made back with 0 to 3. As a parent, I will do whatever I can to help the state. As an employee of KSD now, I will do whatever I can in that capacity also to remake those connections. But that is so important. We're backwards right now. Nobody wants to send their baby to KSD and live. I didn't want to. We picked our lives up and moved here. And so it's hard for me to accept you can't do that because we were poor. We were poor and we moved here. And it really bettered our life in so many ways. The community fed into us and helped us in a time that we were scared. But that's important because right now, our kiddos that are coming here are failing in the system. And then they're sent here. And it's backwards because it's almost like our pyramid is backwards. They need that language at the beginning so that they can be successful at the end. Because transition is wonderful. But if you don't have the beginning, then you don't have the end. And that's exactly what you're saying, Wilton. So I guess, Dr. Fletcher, I guess what the community is saying, what I'm saying as a parent, what I'm saying as an employee here is we want to support in any way we can. We'd love to have your support in knowing how to connect that back in with those early childhood years. I've also been a teacher out in the state, a special education teacher, and I've had deaf children on my caseload. It's very, very hard to get connected with KSD. I've tried, and I had the inside scoop, and it was still hard to get the resources. Kentucky School for the Deaf is called the Resource for Deaf Education in the state. It was hard to get connected here, to get information. I want to give an applause to Helen Yoltz, or if I said her name right, but she really helped me. She's the only one I could get connected with in getting hearing aid repairs and things like that for my kiddo out in the state. So I just wanted to say that as a parent. And I totally agree with you, Wilton. And I want to do what I can do to help with that as a parent and as now a part of the team here at KSD.
Thank you so much. As a parent, I really share that experience that it is so important to empower the education based on her experience, and I'm sure that's a common experience of others in the room, and especially someone who might be poor. I've had that same experience. I came from a poor family, and it does depend on geographic challenges out there. But it is so important. How do we improve our relationship with the district, with the schools, through the those deaf and hard of hearing students here at KSD? Thank you so much for your comments. I know I'm not supposed to respond to public comments, and I know I'm not supposed to ask for permission.
No.
Do you know who Pat Bruce is? Does everyone know who Pat Bruce is? Early days at KSD as a parent advocate, part of the outreach program. We had a wonderful team that we would meet and advocate and meet with parents and give them support and give them that reassurance about their child. That's all for those individuals who worked in the past at KSD. They did a fabulous job doing the outreach to parents. And that's how Jeff and others have arrived here at KSD. And so we need to find that back and create a stronger outreach program. And we'll need more funding, we'll need more qualified people to serve. Just a thank you. I do want to add the Next Step program, First Step, which we can discuss on that the next week in November. You can invite them to the First Step program. That would help us, create more awareness with that. Okay. Our next advisory board meeting will be November 14th. We've already approved that. It'll be for November 14th. Will be our next advisory board meeting. Okay.
Can I
make an announcement?
No.
I do want to announce
We are planning on having the pancake and sausage day. This will take place November 15th and 16th. This will be at First Presbyterian Church of Danville. Plus the 5K at Loving Park. I hope that everyone comes to support the program. Absolutely. Thank you, Scott. Okay. I believe we are going to go ahead and adjourn the meeting. I motion adjournment of the meeting. Second. 1 second. Stephanie, second. All in favor? All right, passes. Close at 7:45 p.m. Thank you. Have a great weekend. We will do the picture.